Okay, so let's discuss decontamination. So what is decontamination? So decontamination, this is the process of removing, killing, or destroying microorganisms that can either be bacteria, etc. But that does not involve the spores. Okay, so now when you go to the wards, or when you go to every hospital has 3 buckets, which we call the decontamination corner, or which we call decontamination corner. So this decontamination corner involves 3 buckets. The first one is chlorine 0.5. Okay, the second bucket contains soapy water. Then the third bucket contains clean water. Okay, so now how do we calculate 0.5 chlorine? Okay, that's the question. That's what we're going to do today. Okay, so now the formula is total parts of water is equal to concentration percentage over diluent percentage minus 1. Okay, so the minus 1 is for both the concentration and the diluent. Okay, so now the concentration, you always get it from the bottle. Okay, that's where you get the concentration. Okay, then the diluent you always be given, which is 0.5. Okay, I'll repeat that. What I'm saying is the concentration, you always get it from the bottle. Then the diluent you always be given, which is 0.5. Okay, so now we are going to say total parts of water is equal to concentration, which is always 3.5 for chlorine. Okay, 0.5. So we are going to say total parts of water is equal to 3.5 times 10. Remember mathematics, we learned that any number that has 1 decimal place, you multiply it by 10. Okay, 2 numbers you multiply it by 100. Okay, so we're going to say 3.5, which is the concentration, times 10 over the diluent, which is 0.5 times 10 minus 1. Okay, so when you multiply the two, you find that it's going to give you it's going to give you 35. When you multiply 3.5 times 10, it's going to give you 35. Okay, then when you multiply 0.5 times 10, it's going to give you a 5 minus 1. Okay, so now we are going to say 35 over 5 minus 1. Okay, so when you divide the two, it's going to give you a 7. Okay, when you divide 35 over 5, it's going to give you a 7. So we're going to say total parts of water is equal to 7 minus 1. Okay, then from there now we're going to say total parts of water is equal to 6, which is 1 to 6. Okay, so now what do we mean when we say 1 to 6? What we mean is 1 bottle of chlorine is equivalent to 6 bottles of water, the same bottle of chlorine. Okay, let me repeat that. When we say 1 to 6, we mean 1 bottle of chlorine is equal to 6 parts of water, the same bottle. Okay, so now that's how you calculate chlorine 0.5. Okay, it's very, very, very simple. So basically that's how you calculate chlorine 0.5. Okay, so remember the formula: total parts of water is equal to concentration percentage over diluent percentage minus 1. So when you substitute, you are going to get a 6. Okay, which is 1 to 6, or the ratio 1 to 6. Okay, so that's what we mean when we say decontamination. Okay, but this does not mean that the equipment are safe to be used on the other patient. Okay, so decontamination, you also need to know the type of instrument that needs to be decontaminated. We have instruments that are electroplated, or those instruments that have electricity, though that are electrified. So those type of equipment, you cannot decontaminate them. Okay, so now when decontamination, or when doing the decontaminating process, you need to make sure that you set your time. Okay, you need to make sure that you set your time. So the first instrument that you had put in chlorine water is the first instrument to come out. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that first in, first out. That's what I mean. So if you put the equipment together at 10 hours, you need to wait for about 10 to 15 minutes, then you can take them out from the 0.5 chlorine and put them in soapy water. So in soapy water, there's no need of you to wait because the decontamination process has already happened in chlorine water. Okay, so from there you just take them in soapy water, you wash them, then from there now you put them on, in clean water, which is the third bucket. From there you just wipe and put them on a dry surface for them to dry up. Then you can take them for autoclaving. Okay, so that's how the decontamination process is done. Okay, if you have any question, please comment on the comment section.